UFC 249 co-main event competitor Rose Namajunas, the former UFC strawweight champion, is out of her fight with Jessica Andrade. This is unfortunate, but honestly not very unexpected. Rose Namajunas, I didn't really think about it like, oh shit, Rose is probably going to pull out of this fight. But now that it's happened, I'm honestly not very surprised. If we lost one or two fights on this, it's a surprise this card is even happening. Let alone Rose Namajunas versus Jessica Andrade. I wouldn't be surprised if, MMA gods forbid, I wouldn't be surprised if another fight fell off of this card, whether it's because of travel issues, maybe somebody's quarantined, or maybe somebody's just scared of the pandemic. That's completely reasonable as well. I know some people are going to say, hey, Fulltime, how come you were on Khabib's helmet for pulling out of the fight, but you're not mad at Rose? Well, there's multiple reasons. Rose Namajunas, for one, she's got a history of physical injuries that she's just getting over, which that's not an excuse for this, but she also has a history of mental instability. And this time for people who have any sort of mental issues has got to be extremely rough. You've got to be a pretty solid person to not be mentally affected by this in some way, because the world is changing for everybody right now, and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of hard to avoid thinking about it, at least at some point throughout the day. So imagine having a mental illness or being mentally unstable during this time. It's going to make it that much harder. But also, the difference between Rose Namajunas and Khabib in this situation is Rose Namajunas didn't come out and say, hey, okay, I'll fight, but couldn't get on a plane. And then once you find out she can get on a plane, she didn't come out and say, never mind, it's because it's a pandemic. She's not moving the goalpost. She's not giving different excuses. You know what I'm saying? That's also different here. So if Rose Namajunas wants to pull out of this fight for whatever reason, I'm completely fine with that. I'm just hoping that this card happens for the people that are going to use this as a way to escape. Somebody told me in my last comments, like, oh, you're an asshole. This is a pandemic, or this is not essential work. Entertainment is not essential. Tell that to the motherfuckers that are sitting at home with kids right now that don't get to go to school. And what do you think they do all day? Not even just for kids, because UFC is not for kids. That's just an example. But what about for the people that are already mentally unstable? There's a lot of people like that out here. What about for the people that are out of work right now? They're fucking flipping out because they're out of work. They don't know what's going to happen in the future. And maybe this will provide them a little bit of something to look forward to. This is until April 18th. This is giving us something to look forward to. Instead of the next fucking coronavirus update, this is giving us something to look forward to, something to be excited about, something to distract us from our world rapidly changing. So you know what I'm saying. So that's the difference. That's why I say this is essential, and I'm not, like I said, never said it recklessly. Only if you're going to test everybody. Francis Ngannou has came out and said that the UFC is going to be testing him and his entire crew. I would imagine they're going to test every single person that's going to be allowed in the venue or around a fighter, and leading up to this event is going to have to be quarantined. Honestly, it's going to be tough to pull off, but with all the proper testing and the money that the UFC has, I think they can get it done. We'll see. We're hoping for the best in this situation, but with that being said, Rose Namajunas is out of the co-main event. There's still a stacked card. Colby Covington and Tyron Woodley have talked about saving the card if Tony Ferguson and Khabib couldn't fight. Well, now that Rose Namajunas is out, maybe they can jump in and be the co-main event. Jessica Andrade has said she's still going to be fighting no matter who her opponent is. She wants to fight no matter what. Because she needs the money. Like a lot of these fighters, a lot of people need the money right now, or they're going to go to being unemployed. Even though unemployment, I hear, is sounding pretty nice. But that's another conversation for another day, man. Rose Namajunas is out of the UFC 249 co-main event against Jessica Andrade. I'm not surprised my Nate Diaz voice. But hey, man, it is what it is. Hopefully, things will be, you know, back to normal. I'm not expecting that, man, anytime soon. But I mean, as far as sporting, as far as, just hopefully things get better enough to where people like Rose Namajunas feel comfortable. But hey, that might be a while, man. So I really, who knows what to say about that at this point. So just giving you the news. Rose is out at UFC 249. This is not the same as Khabib pulling out. But yeah, with that being said, let the full-time fan know what you think in the comments. I'm out.